night, good night, good night. Hmm. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Are you hearing me? Let me know if you're hearing me. Okay, good. Great. I am just waiting for the live to build up a little, then we can start. All right, giving it couple more. All right, so now it's 7:04. Maybe by the latest, give us another 2 to 3 minutes time frame. Hi, Ayana. How are you? Thank you for joining. Okay. I want to talk about a few very important tips tonight. Persons that are engaged and are planning to get married soon, whether it's private or something that they would invite persons to attend, right? So I'm just waiting because I don't want to repeat myself. Oh. Okay. Okay. I think let us start, and then persons might just join in, and I'll just send out via email or other mediums what we discuss, because I have a few points. I have up to 10 points that we want to discuss for tonight. Persons are joining in, but very slow. We have to, most of our business is this time of the night where persons are home and trying to settle after a day work. So that's why I was here waiting for persons to join on or join us in this discussion, so they can have, if there's any questions or concern, they can feel free to ask their questions. But before I even start, I just want to say, a short prayer just for intervenance of the Holy Ghost, for God to be a part of it, because in everything that we do, we have to include our Almighty Father. All right, so just a little for guidance. So, most righteous and eternal Father, as we're about to start our life tonight to educate persons about marriage. Marriage is a part of you, God, and we want you to be a part of us. Let self be slain, less of me, God. Let I be able to assist them in a professional and a reasonable way in which they can understand and in which they can appreciate. Mighty God, take us, lead us, guide us, and protect us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. Thank you again, guys, for joining in. This evening I want to talk on a few tips about after you've been engaged, what is the next step to take? Because I have persons asking questions. For example, I have persons who just got engaged yesterday, and they'll reach out to us and asking some questions, which we see fit for us as a professional in the business to assist persons who need information. As I often said to our customers, potential customers or client that we do have, there is no problem for you to call us, send us a message, email, WhatsApp, whatever medium you want to use, and ask us any questions or concern, because we are here to assist and help you. Most persons who getting married never married before, or some might marry before, but it wasn't a big wedding, it was something private. So different occasion, different time, different settings. So you want to have a different flow to what you're going to do. As I often said to my client, again, that it doesn't matter if it's 5 persons or if it's 50 person. We treat that wedding as a wedding, because it's a wedding. It's memory, right? It doesn't matter the amount of persons that are included at your wedding, because after the day of your wedding, you will sit back and look at photos based on your makeup, based on your hairstyle, your gown, and stuff like that, your bouquets. Those things are very vital in a wedding and after the wedding, because the photograph is what going to show you the flaws and what was on point and what should have or could have been corrected at the time. All right, so persons, female like myself, when I got engaged, you're so excited. I don't think there is a word that I can use to express the feeling that you have when you get engaged, when you got engaged, right? This is a lifetime. This is a lifetime thing that, or this is a lifetime, there's this word that I'm trying to say, this is a lifetime, this is a gift that you're looking for. This is something, as often I said to my client, in moment like these, some people wait their lifetime, because you have persons who live up until they're 50 and age like that, and they say, oh my God, I am not going to marry, things going to happen and I'm not going to marry. So at this day and age and time, you see a lot of young people being in love, getting engaged. They are so excited. Yes, excited is one, because wedding is a union, and wedding is not about the ring and about the fancy dress or the fancy gown or the hairstyle or the makeup. It comes with a lot of other different things behind it, right? So when they're engaged, there seems to be sleepless nights for them, right? It seems to be sleepless nights. They're thinking, they're all over, they're thinking a lot of different things, and based on the fact that most of them haven't been in the position before, it is very stressful and put them in a depression mode after a time. Why? Because they're thinking and they're over exhausting themselves by thinking of how to proceed with this. We are here, as I often said to them, we are here to assist you, right? We are here to support you, and we are here to take you through the process, because we are big on planning, coordinating, and also execution. You have to be positive. You have to be somebody who is positive to assist persons getting married. You have to know what to say, what not to say, and how to go about doing it. Because oftentimes they're engaged and they're excited and stuff like that. They haven't started any planning process, right? Meaning that just got engaged and they're so excited. Everything is just like, whoo, they're feeling that. But you have to sit down and you have to put a few things in place. First, after being engaged, you might be the type of person who never used to do manicure and pedicure and stuff like that. You're a type of person who don't normally go and get your nails done. You're the type of person who might bite your nails off over time. Like myself, if I don't have on the nails, I'll bite everything off, right? You have that type of person. But now you're engaged, you have a ring on, whether it's gold or silver or white gold. Now persons have a tendency to go and get their nails done, so it can be a statement. So that's a left-hand statement, in which we always call it, right? It's a statement. So we encourage persons to ensure that their nails are already done, always done, and so they can. Sorry, my dear, persons are just sending messages, so I have to be stopping to look at the messages. Sorry about that. All right, so we encourage them to get their nails done, and also keep themselves, or I'm not saying that they shouldn't be excited, but in a sense where they can operate, in a sense where they can think realistic, because these individuals, whether male or female, because wedding and marriage is something that persons look forward to, right? And when they got engaged, is like they start thinking everything big, and when they reach out to the different vendors and the different this, it's something that is way out of budget. So our advice to our clients is that to put a budget in place, right? Always have a budget. And when I said a budget, I mean a realistic budget. Because in a wedding, it comes with a lot of different parts, right? It starts from the bride and her party, the groom and his party. You also have your wedding cakes, you have your gowns, you have photography, you have all the different part of this to make the wedding be a fun success. As I said, execution is something that is big. So all those come together, merge everything together. That's how you'd execute the way you'd want it to be. Right? So what we normally recommend for persons budgeting, if you don't have idea of the prices, what you can do is to reach out to the persons who provide those services, right, and ask for a quotation. I'm not going to say for you to ask for a quotation like, okay, you're going to go ahead with a person. You can be honest to yourself and be honest to them. I am just shopping around to find out the different prices, and I'd want to do a budget and stuff like that. If you are not the type of person who can put from A to Z in a wedding, because a wedding comprise of many different channels. You get a professional person, for example, a planner. Yes, planner can be costly because he or she might going to do what is it that you could have done, but based on the fact that you don't have that knowledge, that person would help and have things flow more better, right, and much easier. Sometimes based on job, based on what you do, the time that you get, because most persons that we deal with, that they have a 9 to 5, it is very hard. Because why? They only get Saturdays and Sundays off. It's not all the vendors are available on Saturdays and Sundays, because in a wedding industry, most of the big events are Saturdays and Sundays. So it's very hard for you to take the time out or to say, okay, yes, fitting can be done on this day, or we can do a mock-up on this day. Most times, even the venue, which is a big part of the wedding, because the venue have hosting event on that day as well. Saturday, Sunday is most venue biggest day. So what we normally ask for you to do is to get somebody who, for example, you have a maid of honor, right? Utilize a maid of honor. Use that person to gather all the information. What you can do, create a WhatsApp group. You discuss with your maid of honor, discuss with your mom or your fiancee mom. You have to do that to get a easier flow, because the day on the day of the wedding, when you're over exhausted, it's not easy. You're going to have headaches. You're going to have, you're going to be drowsy. You're trying to put the best of it. Because I had a bride the other day, and the way she was very tired, she said that the lashes that she have on was like, is it putting me to sleep or what? It's because you are tired. You need to get persons who can do the job. Let them know exactly what your budget is like, and then you can proceed from there. You understand? So planning your wedding, it is very good and it is nice to be a part of it. Even though you have a planner or a coordinator, you can also be a part, because every decision or everything that he or she is going to do, once they complete it and that both of you guys discuss, okay, this is what I want to use blush burgundy and gold, and I need blushing this, that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Based on the fact that he or she is working on your behalf, that person would come back to you and say, okay, Melissa, this is what we get, and this is what they're going to provide, and this is what, and you guys discuss it. In that sense, they would run it by you, not saying that you're the one is running with it, right? So in that sense, you'll have less work, but at least it is getting done on time. For us at Ambience, what we normally said to our clients, 1 month before the wedding, we should have taken care of everything, meaning that the other 3 weeks we are just sitting down and waiting on the day to come, just to get our hairstyle in place or nails to be done, just a little few things, your manicure, your pedicure, your facial, just those like a small stuff that you need as closer to the date of your event. But the big things, we normally get those out of the way a month before your event. We should gather all the different items that we're going to use for your event and put them in one places. We pre-packed and we ensure that this is in place, even though, because we are also a rental, we do rental stuff as well. If we're going to use some of the stuff from your thing to rent, what we do, we normally do an inventory to ensure that we have enough, because renting is is an on and off thing. You might rent it and it don't come back, or you might rent it and it don't come back the way you send it, or stuff like that. We normally put aside what is it that we're going to use, so the rental stuff is around what is left, right? So again, as I said, I am trying to emphasize on the fact that put a budget in place. Ensure that you have somebody to carry out the job for you. And the other part of it now is to ensure that the venue that you're going to host your event is a venue that can, for example, contingency plan. We are doing an outdoor event, right? And we don't have enough resources to rent a tent, but the venue would be able to give us a contingency plan just in case it's raining, right? So choosing the venue is also very important. You have to be aware of the time that you're getting married. They'll say it's a rainy season, or it's summer, the sun might be hot. Even though you might expecting it to be hot, then what if, just in case, you have to bear those things in mind and to put those things into consideration before, right? You can still use the venue. I'm not going to say don't use the venue, but ask those questions before, so you can be certain of what is going to be taking place on the day of what if, right? So all those things we normally recommend our client as well. All right. Another thing that we always recommend our customers or client to do is to narrow down on their guest list. Guest list, yes. Why? Because you might say that you're having an event for 30 people, right? On the day of the event, 40 turn up. That's an additional 10 people. That wasn't prepared for, because we only prepared for 30 people, right? The venue didn't prepare for 40 people, they prepared for 30 people. In that sense, in that case, because we have an event that happens like that, when they reach the 30, they're going to ask, who is the coordinator, who is the person in charge? We were asked to cater to 30 people, but now it's 40 people. How do we go about that? It is very, 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 very disrespectful. It is also very embarrassing for the client, because at times they might invite myself and I take my daughter and my husband. We need to be, when we are sending out our invitation, we need to say +1 or only one, right? When you're sending out your invitation, be exact. let persons know that, hey, I am getting married, but I won't be able to cater to all my families and all my friends. I'm just saying it to you, but invitation only. Right? Hey Patrice. Hi darling. Thanks for joining. Yes, so let them know that it's invitation only, because it's not looking good, or it's not very good for the bride and groom after the night when everybody gone and they're there. They're going to get funds to pay for additional 10. Numerous times I have to say to them that, listen me, because I am not going to say to the caterers or to the venue to say go ahead. I'm going to, it's not good to go to a couple on the night of the event to say to them that, hey, listen me, 5 extra people, what should we do? We have couple who said no, don't feed them. Or they would say, okay, because I realized that I see somebody there that wasn't invited. I am not aware of the persons. We are not aware of the persons, because guess what? We're only doing a job, right? Persons, we don't know who is what. And for us to do that, we normally recommend to do a seating chart, and they will ask the MC to seat them accordingly. From there, the persons who are left standing, those wasn't on the list. So what you need to do is to ensure that the persons who are invited, let them know it's not +1 or +2. It's just you. We're only having 30 people. We're only having 15 people, right? Because right now it gone down to what? 15, right? So you can't take anybody much. So, and you have to be realistic too as well. An invitation, my sister got an invitation. That doesn't mean that I have to go to my cousin wedding. I wasn't invited, and it doesn't mean that he or she doesn't respect you or doesn't rate you, as our term is in Jamaica. It's because they're not in that financial position to take everybody. Because if I should take all my family members, he should take all his family members and friends that we have. Come on, right? So we need to tighten up on when we're doing our invitations, so we can be on a clear cut part and not to be embarrassed on the night of the event, or for persons to be there going on in a badly manner, because at times they can behave very bad, right? Especially to us who is working for the bride and the groom. They will disrespect you to say this, but it's not our we cannot make that decision. And at times what we might do is to talk to the venue and said, okay, go ahead and feed them, and then can we do a payment plan, because that wasn't in the budget. What I always said to our client as well, when you're doing a budget, do a budget with a miscellaneous. For example, things like that, unseen things that might happen. Miscellaneous, you don't have to be a $50,000. You can do a miscellaneous of $15,000, of $10,000. That is things that wasn't planned for. Because on the day of the event, you might have person who decide that they want to surprise you. Because we see that happen. They are surprising you to be at your wedding, but nevertheless you didn't send an invitation to them, right? So that is also a main part that we need to look into when we are doing invitation. All right, is there any question? Because I'm going to answer all the questions as well. For persons who join late, we're talking about engagement and the things that after engage, what is it that you do? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, Tyrell. Okay, Shauna. All right. So we're at choosing the venue, right? So we did discuss about choosing the venue. Choose a representative from large family groups. Okay. All right. Thanks, Shauna. Thank you, darling. All right. So after being engaged, you need to gather all your inspiration, all your inspiration that you have, the things that you have in mind to do. For example, your wedding colors, persons that you want to be at your bridal party, centerpieces, those main part of the, for example, persons always on Pinterest, persons always surfing the internet, persons on Instagram looking at different persons wedding or event. Have those things in place, have those things, have a notebook, have a diary, write down your information. All the information should be on one page or in a book, where once you skip through the book, then you can say, okay, this is my idea, this is how I'd want it to look, and stuff like that. Person seeing pictures of what you have in mind would help them execute much better. Why? Because it tells us the type of individual you are. You have persons who would say, I am not picky and I am not fussy. But I, Nika, when persons say that I am not picky and I am not fussy, they are very, very fussy. Right? So what they need to do is to have, what is it, their inspiration. Either they have an email, or they have an book, or they have photos, screenshot, do a folder, whatever they want to do, but have their inspiration so we can know what is it that you want. Because most times they're like, I'm open to any suggestions. Open to any suggestion, yes. Open to any suggestion, yes. But based on what you might give them is not what they like. But nevertheless, they did say to you that they are open to any suggestions. Right? Hi, Nika. How are you, my dear? Thank you for joining. All right. So yes. So they need to have those in place so we can better to assist them, right? Even for their bouquets, take a photo, screenshot, what is it? Because most times when they say they need a bouquet, they have what they want in mind. It's just for you to execute it, right? And if you said to them that, so what is it you're thinking about? As soon as you said that, they start sending the pictures of what is it. Yes. And let us narrow it down. Let us go to 2 or 3, right? Sometimes they send you 5. That is too wide. You need to narrow it down to say, what if you don't get this one? What about that one? So in that sense, is either or either, right? So we normally recommend them to do that as well. Your inspiration, send them by photos. If you want to do an email, if you want to do a word catalog, what we do most times, we have a word catalog that said to them, that said, for example, ceremony, 5 chairs on the left, 5 on the right. I'll marker at the front chair, 1 to the second chair. We do things like that so we can have an idea of what is it. Because when persons fill out that form for us, send it back to us, that is our checklist on the day that we use to execute the job. Right? So those inspiration, those are what we use to execute. And based on that, then we can tweak it a little. We can suggest to you, say, what about doing this or doing that? Or what about not doing this or doing that? And you merge or you remove or you add something. And from there, we can proceed by doing what is it that is best based on the discussion, because sometimes you don't want to do exactly what you saw on social media. You want to tweak it a little. For example, the head table was looking lovely, but is that you don't want to do it exactly as how it was. You want to do it as similar. You want to tweak it a little. You want to use vase instead of flowers, or you want to use candles, or tweak it a little. All right, so that's how we normally recommend our customers to do and send out our checklist, so we can have that on the day of the event, right? All right, this is a very important point as well. Choosing your bridal party, right? When you're choosing a bridal party, not because you have persons who will say, oh, I'm going to use my big sister, I'm going to use this one, or I'm going to use that, based on your inspiration and based on what is it that you envision for your bridal party. Sometimes they're plus size, sometimes they're small. Choosing a bridal party, you have to be careful when choosing your bridal party outfit, right? Because at times they'll say, oh, it didn't come out the way that I expected it. I was looking for it to be like this. But your bridal party, they might be slim, or they might be more upsized person. You have to bear that in mind. You have to be realistic again. Based on their outfit, you have to put them in appropriate outfit, something that is going to, when you do your photos, it's not going to be exposing there or exposing here, or it's going to be too small or too big. That's one of the reasons why we said a month before. By a month before, you should have your gowns ready, so the week before, you try fit your gown again and see if it is okay, it want to be altered a little, or if it want to loosen a little. Persons go up and down over time. So your gowns and the bridal party outfit is something that is going to be on the last run. You have it in place, but it's just to alter it a little, or to loosen it a little. All right. So we have to bear that in mind as well, choosing our bridal party, right? Another point that is very important, very, very important, is hiring your professional wedding photographer. You have a lot of photographers who take photos. It's not everybody who take photos are photographers, because I can use my nice phone and take the photograph and it looking very nice, but how is it that they edit the photo after? I see where a photographer edit out the crown from the head. You have to bear in mind the photographers that you're using. I believe some photographers, some are for parties. You have a little nice children parties, or you have your parties. Some photographers are for parties. Some photographers are for some particular thing. But for a wedding photographer, you have to be careful, right? What you need to do when you're choosing the photographers, you need to have your list, because what we do, we also have a must done photos. So for example, have 15 to 20 photos, getting dressed here, this, cutting the cake. We have a list that we are looking forward towards. Those are the photographs that should be in the album, right? What we do, we sit down and we normally recommend for you to shop around, because prices might vary based on the individual. So what we normally do is to ask for you to shop around, right? For photographers, when shop around, then you look on their quality of the work. You, the individual, know what is it that you're looking for, right? It based on your idea of, oh, for example, looking at a wedding photo, I said, wow, this look nicey. But looking up close, it is the face was so, it's like your head gone back into something because they edited out the photo. You have to bear those things in mind, right? If you're paying for a service, you're expecting the service. And persons do normally like to say, oh, their package is very cheap, let us work with that. No. If you're doing your wedding, spend time and do your wedding. If you won't be able to afford the wedding that you want now, put it to a later date where you can accumulate up the funds so you can purchase what is it that you want. A wedding is memory. Wedding is something that after over time, you look on your photographs, you look back at your video, you look on certain things, you say, oh, this is how the chair did turn, but the thing on the chair wasn't properly done. Is after, if after, because on the day of your wedding you're not seeing anything. There's nothing you're seeing on the day of your wedding because you're so excited and you're so overwhelmed. Only a few things you might see on the wedding. It's a very few bride and groom that see some flaws on the day of the wedding. So getting a professional photographer, right, is a plus. And getting a professional photographer, you need to sit down with he or she and let them know your requirement. What is it that you're expecting? What is it that you're required for your service? For their service that rendered to you, right? So we always recommend to choose your photographers. Get 2 to 3 persons and you can look through to see what is it that they offer. Oh, they have done this. What you can do, instead of, you can scroll through Instagram or you can scroll through Facebook and you can look them up and you can look on the page to see their quality work, and then from there you can contact them, right? Because for us, persons, most times when persons reach out to us is because they look on our page and they say, okay, that was done, this was done, and so that's how they use our service, right? Because they realize that you're somebody who can be trusted with doing their wedding. Because wedding, I normally say to them that wedding is like a glass. Once you drop it and it breaks, you can't mend it together. If anything happen, there's nothing that is very hard. It's some things that you can fix on the spot if you're that type of person who observe and see what went wrong and you can correct it at the time. But if it's something that they hold to say that wasn't done, or this or that, if there was something that was asked for and you might in some cases forget, but at the time you can try and to replace or to do something, even if it's not the thing that was asked for, but to do something additional that can cover for that, you can do it, or we will do it. Because guess what, in that sense I say, okay, because they asked for this and it wasn't done, but we realize that you have done something else. So maybe because you were so busy trying to surprise us on the other hand, so we try to ensure that during our weddings, we have done it to the best of our ability, and we try to execute as best as possible. I have a lot of persons that is in the industry that I look up to, and persons that give good advice. Go Nika. And if I'm going to do an event and I'm not 100% sure, I might call and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and stuff like that. And once she approve of it or once he approve of it, I say, okay then. And then I give it my best shot. You understand? I have a team that is reliable, capable, dedicated, and once we're going to do an event, we're going to do it with our best foot forward. Because listen, end of the day, it's our repetition. End of the day is how we execute, and end of the day is how our customer feel about us. Our customer should leave and recommend everywhere they go. They can recommend you to say, hey, listen, this person was very good, Hey, listen, this person was at all times listen to your concerns and listen to your ideas, and never yet to say, oh no. You get what I'm saying? So we are here, and we are always here. Most, as I said early on, our working hours to customers is like between the hours of 7 p.m. to 10, because persons are home now. They finish After they finish work, they want to just relax and to discuss their wedding. No problem with us. No problem with us. What I do now, I have to realize that I have to start putting appointments. And when I put in appointments, I said, okay, I have half an hour with you, so let us just write down, before we start, write down all the things that you want to discuss, and then we can talk about it. Right? Because you have some of them who say, okay, set an appointment for 7 o'clock. And even 8 o'clock, we still haven't discussed anything, because they're all over. You have to be trying to see how best you can start discuss what we're about to discuss. So what we normally do is to say to you, just put down all your things, put down all your ideas on paper or in a book, and then we can discuss, right? Because in that sense, we can flow and things will flow. All right. Another thing that we're up for, or another thing that we normally recommend persons, get a planner, get a coordinator, get a person with a passion for this thing, get a person who do it, that is their job, right? Because for you who is getting married or who is planning to get married, have a 9 to 5 or you have a job, it is going to be very pressuring. Wedding take a lot from you. It take a lot. When I said it take a lot from you, because to plan, to coordinate, to get the items and stuff like that, it took a lot from you. So what we normally said, to get a planner, get that person who you trust, get that person who you're comfortable with. There's a lot of us out there. Right now, Nika is on the line, and Nika is one of the best. Nika is, you can call her anytime, you can text her anytime. She's available. Right? And she would give you all the advice that you need. I will give you all the advice that you need. We have other persons, team member who is professional and will give you all the information that you need. Right? You just need to say, hey, I want to have a one-on-one. Let us sit down and discuss, and let us talk about our budgeting. Let us, and then from there you can take it on. We even go out of our, busy schedule to see vendors for you, venue. We do all of that for you, while at the comfort where we can just WhatsApp. We can do WhatsApp call, we can do video call, whatever meeting mediums. We have persons who are overseas, we never meet until like a week or a day before, couple days before. But how we do it? We do it like WhatsApp. We do video calls for persons to have a feel of who you are, and persons to see your facial expression when they are talking. Because wedding, sometimes you might say something and person might do the face away. So you want to know the type of person that you're dealing with. Right? So, being engaged, planning to get married, as I said, there's a lot of tips that a lot of things that we need to put into place, right, to get that done, for us to have a good and to execute well, a good wedding and to execute well. We do venue hunting, we do tasting of the meal, so we accommodate. So if you want us to be a part and want us to carry out that for you, you just need to reach out to us. As I said, we have other team members and other persons who we normally recommend you to. And then, because bear in mind that one person or one company can't do everything. We have to give persons who we know have the capability and can carry out certain duties, right? What we normally recommend persons, try to settle on your colors. Don't choose a color now and by next week you see something pop up on Instagram, you're planning to change your colors. Settle on a color, have a reason. Persons normally have reason why they choose the color. You know, you have some might go Calabar, so they want to use green, and the next one might go Ulma's girl, so they want to use burgundy and gold to be, you know, have your reasons why you choose your colors, right? Don't just choose the colors because they say somebody has used emerald green and gold and it was looking lovely. Have reasons behind what you're doing. Both bride to be and fiance, they need to sit down and discuss all of those things. Need to discuss what is it that he is expecting from it. For example, the planning process. What is it? How you'd want to base on execution. What is the final that you want to see? How you want to see the wedding, and this from there you can know how to plan. You guys need to discuss before you even start discussing with us, right? Not because you just get engaged, you feel like you want to go and get information. No, you sit down and you discuss first and foremost. We have been engaged now, hon. So is it that we're looking for the next 6 months or a year from now, or what is it? Because you guys have to sit down and discuss personal budget before you start discussing your wedding budget. Because bear in mind, after the wedding you might want to do a honeymoon, right? Persons do, persons don't, then wait until sometime when they can afford. Bear in mind that we have to live after the wedding day. You might get married the end of month, or you know, then you might live in a rent house where we have to pay rent and the light and the bills. So we have to put all of those things into place. When you're choosing your wedding dates, your wedding colors, you have to have a reason behind it. It have to be realistic, right? Because you don't want to say, okay, we're going to get married on April the 25th. It's month-end, but all our bills are due on the 27th and 28th. The rent due the 27th, the light bill due the 28th, and all the bills are coming down. But yet still, we go ahead. So even if that is the case, put things into place to take care of those everyday bills, right? Don't go behind our means, meaning that if you saw a nice cake or you see somebody with a bouquet or stuff, if you can't afford that, if you can't afford that, then you know, go where you can do what you can afford. There's nothing, you can still get you can get a round bouquet and it enhance your gown just like the cascade. What advice would you give to a newly engaged couple who really don't have ideas on what they really want? That's what I am doing since night. What I'm going to do, you want to send us a private message via WhatsApp and I can send it to you? We can. All right? You can send that via WhatsApp number. Who can want somebody to pin a number so we can pin it, the WhatsApp number, all right? Or you can send it via email and reply, or if you want to DM us on Insta, then we'll reply to you, all right? So we can reply to you regarding what is it that we've been discussing, newly engaged couples, all right? All right, because let me just run through the things that we've been talking about regarding the newly engaged couple. All right, so the first thing, yes, enjoy the moment. For example, you know, meaning that you're just engaged and you're excited, and you know, you just be you. Flaws your ring, and if you want to do what you want to do, but before you do that, though, don't, not just because you're engaged tonight you're going to start post it and status this the next 10 minutes or stuff like that. discuss with your fiance to say if this is serious, this is something that we're going to move forward with, and this is something that we're going to, because persons might engage to you just because they know that you're looking forward for a ring or towards a ring, right? So you have to be sure. You don't want to start posting something that is not going to happen or that is not truth, right? All right, so the next thing, as I said, you talk to your fiance, both of you guys talk on the discuss on a budget, personal budget, discuss when you think we're going to get married, discuss, when are we going to say to our parents, when are we going to, because you have to, when you get engaged, you have to say to your parents to say, okay, mommy, or okay, daddy, I was engaged last night, and we're planning to get married maybe in the next 6 months to a year. But you guys need to discuss and talk about that. The third point is to create a budget, right? So you create a budget, and realistic budget. And I not saying a budget of $150,000, and then you want the gown, and you want the cake, and you want the photographer and the makeup artist, and you want the bouquets and stuff. No, be realistic. Be realistic. Shop around. Ask persons what the price is like, so you can have an idea. When you shop around, look at their qualities as well, because it don't make no sense to be penny wise and pound foolish, right? So you shop around, and you put that in your budget to say, okay, the bouquet is this, is range between this and that, and then you can narrow it down, right? The fourth point is narrow your date or your season. For example, as I said, you might choose a venue where, them don't have covering or is a outdoor. Know what time of the year you're going to chance it. Summer, even though no, summer is not even so safe for us, because you might have rain a few time and stuff like that. But narrow down your date and the season that you're getting married, and the reason, and as I said before, again, have a reason behind all of these things. Don't get married July the 5th because it's just July the 5th, or July the 4th because I'm American, whatever. No, put reasons behind it why you want to get married, and that date and that time and stuff like that. Persons even do dates like that, and they put things around it like the souvenirs and stuff. It give you the meaning, so you see where it's playing out, right? It's not just because they want to just marry on the 10th of December, whatever. They have a reason behind it. All right. And the fifth point is to choose a wedding venue. Right? Your wedding venue, you choose your wedding venue based on the type of wedding. You have persons who want to have a beach wedding. You have persons who want to have a garden wedding. You have persons who want to have a church wedding. You have different person, different personality, different meaning, and different, because some people from back then, them say they have to marry in the church. They're not going on any lawn, or they're not going on any whatever. And you might have, one might be holding that, and the other might be holding something else. So that's where number 2 is very important. Talk with your fiancés about you guys can compromise and come to an agreement where the venue, so that's how the venue would come into place. So everything would flow. Once you guys discuss from number 2, after the engagement, you discuss that this is what and what and what you like and don't like, then by choosing the venue, that would be easy because you guys already come to a mutual agreement, right? And our point number 6 is to create wedding inspiration. Wedding inspiration, for example, is like photos of how you'd want to have the cake, or you want to have your backdrop, or you want to have the egg table, your centerpieces and stuff like that. So those are the wedding inspiration. Those are that you need. Sorry. Those are your wedding inspiration that you want to have in place, right? So that's number 6. Number 7 is to choose your bridal party, right? So choosing a bridal party, from there you know what gowns or what suit tux they would wear based on their body build and stuff like that, their height and their weight, right? So you choose a bridal party, and from there you can choose your gowns and your tux, right? Number 8 is to draft your guest list. This is a very important point where you draft your guest list. For example, is 30 people, 15 on one side, 15 on the other. It would be 14 on one side and 14 on the other, because the bride and the groom is already two. So we need 28 people, right? So you'd have to put that into two, and you have to get the most important persons who we are close with. If you and I is not close, why would I put you over somebody who I'm close with? When they send the invitation, you need to let them know if it's plus one or it's just one person, right? So you need to bear that in mind. Draft your guest list. That's how the invitations, that how you would proceed by doing your invitations, and know how to send your invitation. If you want to do a digital or virtual invitation, or if you want to do something printed. Persons, have different take on that, then the choice is theirs. All right. The number 9 is to hire your professional wedding photographer. And as I said early on, you can shop around, or you can scroll through by looking on their social media page. You can look on their website. You can look on what persons, their comments and stuff like that. So from there, you can have an understanding, or build a little trustworthy thing about yourself for them to be a part of your event, right? Because photography is very important. And the 10 point is that you need to hire a wedding planner or a coordinator, because if not, there's going to be a lot of load on you and your fiance. You're going to, once, if you have a 9 to 5, or if you have a job that requires a lot of time, because wedding take a lot of time, right? You have to deal with vendors. You have different vendors that you have over 4 different vendors that you have to deal with. You have to deal with the vendor that is going to provide a venue, the photographer and the videographer. You have the makeup artist. You have your gown. You have the tux. You have your floral arrangement. You have the decor. So you have a lot of persons to deal with, to remember all of those things, and to have work. It's a little bit pressuring. So we normally recommend to hire a coordinator or a planner, and have that person, or you can say just allocate duties. If you have your maid of honor, and if you have a bridesmaid, if you want to do it that way, then you can create a group, and you said, okay, Miss Maid of Honor, you are responsible for taking care of floral. This one is responsible of taking care of that. Bear in mind that cake is very important, so you, the bride, would have to take care of the cake, for cake tasting and stuff like that, for tasting of the meals and stuff like that. So we need to bear these points in mind, and then we'll have an easy flow of proceeding. Coming our next live with we'll tell you what is it that we'll discuss on our next live, so you can come with your questions or concern. Is there any question? Is there any question? You can also send us on WhatsApp at 3208508. It's there. Thanks, Omar. Hi, Mike. Or you can follow us on Instagram, or you can look on our YouTube channel. Facebook, you can like us on Facebook as well. We have quite a few stuff that you can scroll through that will help you in your planning process, and also in your execution process. As I said, we do rentals as well. So if you want to rent items, we do. If you want florals, we do. If you want cakes, we do. And planning and coordinating. We are not, our storefront is not open to the public since COVID. We've been doing it online. So You can send us DM us on Instagram. You can send us an email as ambianceboutique7@gmail.com, or you can send us a WhatsApp message or WhatsApp call us, and we are available between the hours of 9 a.m. to 8, 9, 10. Because persons, as I said, the persons who after work, we do leave slot for them so we can accommodate them. Persons who are available in the day, no problem, we still be able to. Most times we'll be on the road as well to do face-to-face meetings, so for persons to know who is it that they're working with. And we also do tasting of cake, so we have days when we do tastings and stuff like that, if you're interested in those. But like for our showroom and for storefront for you to see the products, we don't have that anymore because of since COVID, we're trying to be safe. But we have it on our Instagram, and once you see the photos and once you ask for it, we can send it to you, right? So if there's no questions or concerns, then I think we're going to wrap up now. It was for me, it was a good time. I'm not sure if you guys get all the information that, or if the information that you have received was very helpful to you. The tips was helpful. But we are here if there's any questions or concerns or anything towards your wedding, or if you're just engaged, or if you're having a party, you can reach out to us and we'll definitely reply to you. All right, we want to say a big thank you for taking the time out to be a part of our life tonight, and it's very, 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 very appreciated. All right, thanks again, and we will see you coming week. I'm not sure which day again, but I'll send it out. I'll put it in the story, and then I'll put it on the page and on our WhatsApp, so you'll know in advance that we'll be live and what is it that we're going to discuss. All right, so you can come with your questions and your concerns. We're also going to have also going to tell you like days that we're doing tasting and stuff like that, and for you to have, if you want to have a face-to-face with us, when we can arrange for us to have the face-to-face. All right, thanks again. It was my pleasure to be a part of this live with you tonight, and thank you guys for staying on with us, or with me, or with the ambience team. We really, really, really do appreciate it. Good night.